only have 8 school days left. Silent cheer. You're almost first graders now. Almost done with kindergarten. So exciting. And I know you're working hard at home, and this is a challenging time because we're virtual learning, but you're doing such a great job, and I'm so proud of you. So 8 more days of fun for us. This week, we're going to be learning all about national parks. Last week, we learned about different kinds of American symbols, and national parks are kind of another American symbol. So before we get started on our adventures for this week, I want to go over what you need for camping, because when you go to a national park, you're probably going to have to end up camping. So let me tell you what you need. Here's my Let's Go Camping chart. Number 1 on the chart is bring a sleeping bag, tent, food, water, lantern, and first aid kit. So right here in front of me, I have a sleeping bag. So check it off the list. I have a tent, which is right here. Something for me to sleep inside to keep the bugs out. In case it rains, I'm inside. Let's see. Ooh, food. When you go camping, you like to bring a lot of food that's kind of easy to eat. So we like to bring mini bagels or different kinds of granola bars, something that we can pack in our backpacks if we're gonna go on a hike or go exploring. So don't forget to bring your food, and of course you need to also drink and bring your water. So bring a reusable water bottle if you have one on the hikes with you. Anywhere you go, you should be taking water with you. What else do we have? Oh, and a first aid kit. You never know when you're gonna need something like a Band-Aid, or maybe you need a special cream if you get a little bug bite. So you always wanna pack a first aid kit. And a lantern, because otherwise, how are you gonna see when it gets dark? You need a lantern. All right, so these are just some of the basic supplies you need for going camping. Number 2, stay together. So this is a good rule for camping. These are some guidelines or rules that you should follow. So stay together. When my family and I go camping, we travel all over the place together. All of our adventures, we stay together. Here's Mr. Phillips with Adventure Ashton and Camden in Yosemite National Park. So you want to stay together so that you don't have to worry about getting separated or maybe getting lost. Actually, I'm going to put this picture right here. Number 3, don't feed the wildlife. So you don't want to feed the wildlife, okay? So if you go somewhere like Yosemite National Park, you might see a squirrel like this, or many squirrels like this. And in this picture, you can see he's eating something that he should be eating. This is his squirrel food. But if you were to feed him something, that would probably make him sick or have a tummy ache. So you don't want to do that. The wild animals are not meant to eat people food. So don't feed the wildlife. Ooh. I like number 4. This is important. Lock up your food. Well, animals, even though it's not good for them to eat people food, sometimes they can smell something that you have that might smell delicious to them. So they might come looking for it. So in order to keep your food safe and to keep you safe, you have to lock up your food or put it somewhere where animals won't be able to smell it. Again, in Yosemite National Park and in other national parks, they have something called a bear locker. And in the bear locker, you put all your food in there, sealed up tight so that the bears can't smell it, okay? So here's a picture of a bear, a black bear in Yosemite. And you want to make sure this guy doesn't come to your campground looking for your people food. So that's why it's important to lock up your food. Okay? Over here. Ooh, the next one says, don't touch the wildlife. Well, I have a picture here of Adventure Ashton, and he's holding a praying mantis. When we were in Yosemite last fall, we walked under a tree, and a praying mantis was suddenly on top of Ashton's head. So he carefully took the praying mantis off and he put it back in a nearby bush. That's not really the wildlife I'm talking about. Yes, you should respect insects, but if you see a deer nearby, so close that you feel like you could touch it, should you? No, they're still wild animals, and a lot of those animals are still powerful animals, and some have sharp teeth. So you want to make sure you respect the animals and keep your distance away from them. So don't try to pet any of the wildlife. This over here. Number 6, stay on the trails. This is very important. In case you go on a hike, you want to stay on the trail. So here's a picture of Camden making a green choice. He's walking nicely on a trail. And the reason you don't want to walk off the trail is you don't want to get lost. And also, in all of these places, like this beautiful meadow here, there's all kinds of living things. The plants are alive, there's insects down there, and you don't want to stomp on them and ruin their habitat. So you want to stay on the trail. Ooh, take water with you. This is so important. If you go on a hike or you go camping, you should definitely have lots and lots of water. Sometimes, even if you're hiking in colder weather, you might not feel like you're that thirsty, but you need to be taking drinks of water to stay nice and hydrated. Sometimes a hike can also last longer than you originally thought, so you need to make sure you take water with you anywhere you go. Okay? Ooh, practice fire safety. Ooh, I like this one. Practice fire safety. Should kids play with fire? Nope, not ever. So when you go camping, you might light a fire at night, which is a lot of fun if you're making s'mores or if you're keeping warm. Maybe you're telling fun camp stories, but you have to make sure you stay back away from the fire and you don't throw anything in there. No running around the fire, okay? So make sure you're practicing fire safety. And before you go to bed at night, make sure your parents pour a bucket of water on that fire so it's completely out, because the last thing you want is to accidentally start a fire in a forest. And this is a picture, I'll talk more about this in another video, but this is what they call fire falls in Yosemite. And what they used to do, I don't think they do it very often anymore, but they used to pour these burning coals down the crevice of a mountain to make it look like a waterfall at night, but it was called the Fire Falls. You can see it's glowing fire, glowing orange. Okay, so make sure if you go camping, you practice being safe around a fire. Ooh, number 9, take a map and a compass. Now, if you go camping and you're like us, you like to explore. You like to go on trails and hikes and see what's around you, but it's important to have a paper map like this, okay? This is a map of Yosemite. You get it when you visit the park. They give you one. And you make sure you take a map so that any trail you go on or anywhere you travel to or hike around in, you can pull this out if you're not sure what direction you should go. Which is, it's also helpful to have a compass as well, so that you know which direction you need to go in if you need to get back to your camp or where your tent is, okay? So here's a map. Make sure you take a map of the area you're camping in when you go camping. All right, and finally, number 10, pack it in and pack it out. And what that means is, if you go camping, and you take something like bagels with you, or maybe you have a wrapper left over from your granola bar. Can't find it. There it is. Your granola bar. Should you drop this on the ground or throw it on the ground? No. Just like our kindergarten playground, how I always tell you, we have to keep our space clean, and we have to make sure that the space that we're in doesn't leave a trace behind. We don't want to leave anything behind that's ours that's going to make a nice place yucky. So trash goes in the trash can, but what pack it in and pack it out means you can take all your trash, put it in your own trash bag, and take it with you when you leave your campsite so you can throw it away when you get home. If you have a lot of trash, you might not be able to do that, but your trash needs to go in a trash bag and into a big dumpster to be thrown away the right way. We don't want to leave anything behind that an animal might get a hold of or might pollute the environment or make the area look really not very pretty. Okay, so pack it in and pack it out. Whatever you bring in, you also take out. Don't leave anything behind. All right, so now that you know the basics for going camping, you know some of the things that you need or some of the rules that you should follow, you can actually make your own list at home. In case I left anything important off this list, you can make your own list for going camping. Now, check back later today for another video because now we're ready to go on our first camping adventure. So make sure you check back in for later today for the next video. Bye.